Hello everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Bob, but you know that. You're here to see what's going on the channel. Give me a heads up on the volume levels. This headset sometimes gets a little wonky, so let me know if you are hearing everything well. Gonna probably address some of the comments here in the chat, a couple of other things to start, because I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to filter in. Usually with these live streams, I feel like it tends to be people kind of coming in and out, so I want to make sure people get a chance to get settled in. You know, with these chats, they could be interesting because I feel like we're not playing a game, right? So like I'm constantly looking at the chat, which is something I don't always do when I'm playing. And so I'll be trying to get as many questions answered, things like that. It's a different type of stream. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to get in and get your questions in. But to start off, thank you to V Valente, messaged me and said that the title was wrong of the sate of the channel. That was what it was up until a few minutes ago. The graphic actually spelled it correctly, but the YouTube title was wrong. But thank you. We've got, oh, look at that. Jeff in the chat here. Jeff, actually two Jeffs here. Look at this. So we've got Jeff, Print and Play Gamer, and Jeff Frumis, who's our, he works with me as well, as many people in the channel do. He works with me, does not play D&D, but does some awesome streams on his own channel where he talks about a lot of music, actually. You should check out Frumis. If I'm saying your last name right, I usually don't say your last name, just Jeff. But yeah, we got Stefano in the chat. Look at this. A lot of good people here in the chat. We've got Chris from Long Island. Chris recovering from COVID. Speedy recovery, my friend. James, the Doc Game, one of the patrons. I think Victor Valente as well. A lot of people here from the Patreon so far. Just a quick shout out to James. Hopefully my reporting of starting on time as misinformation doesn't cause too many problems. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I know that we've had this running gag here about starting on time. I'm a teacher, you know, I like to be timely and, you know, punctual. There's been a lot of discussion as to why we are late sometimes. In fact, it's become kind of like a running gag here, but just like what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't call it stalling, but I would say that I'm just kind of waiting for people to file in and get situated. I do this on the live streams as well because the live streams are, you know, if you start at 8:30, but realistically we, you know, go on at 8:40, 8:45. We start to chat. You know, we start to do those icebreaker questions, and then by like 9, we really start the gameplay. That means that everybody gets a chance to get in and get settled and start watching. So it has a purpose, everybody. If you don't recognize it, that's okay. We can be late. We can be late. I could just as easily just say we're starting at 9 and then that would be it. But you know, I like to get a little flow going. You know, at the start of the stream, it's a lot of fun to chit chat before a game. Dave Mills, welcome. Dave Mills, welcome. 500G Matt, welcome. A couple other questions here from the early chat. Not such consequential questions and answers here, but what headset is this? That's a great question, actually. I'm not sure. I mean, I know the company is Corsair. In fact, a ton of my stuff is Corsair. That's like where I got headsets. My mic is the Elgato mic. I know like real streamers probably would post all these things in like an Amazon affiliate link or something like that, and where that would benefit me. But I don't know. I haven't gotten around to that. But my friend who is, you know, he's a big time computer guy. He built my stuff and got me all the gear and stuff like that. It was his advice that I go off of. But yeah, so maybe at some point I'll do a little, I don't know if it's a stream, but like a video on like what I use, what equipment, things like that. It might be something people would want to see. But it is a Corsair headset. Just don't call me late for dinner, Jeff. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Would never do that. Um, oh, lots of questions about the Keep on the Borderlands reunion. 500G Matt, curious, what do you teach? I teach social studies. That's kind of like what I mainly like went to school for. I'm certified to teach social studies in middle school and high school. But I also teach at my school that I work at. I also teach language arts in addition to some social studies. Seventh grade. It's great. It's a middle school is a very interesting time for kids. So it can be fun. It can be exhausting. I very very much enjoy it. Chris from Long Island, how's the greased goat doing? Oh, the goat's fine. The goat's always fine. Throughout the entirety of the Keep on the Borderlands, I mean, the greased goat's never had a problem. That's for sure. And yeah, Stefano, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. It's only January 2nd. Feels like New Year's was a long time ago. I feel like this whole vacation flew by. Um, but I'll be getting back to teaching next week, thankfully. Um, let's see here. Making sure I didn't miss anything. I see Jeff from the channel, Jeff, all over the comments already. Good to see you. I'm sure we'll be playing again soon. Awesome. All right, so here's what the plan is for this state of the channel. Um, I feel so weird saying it. My wife was like the president does a State of the Union. I was like, yeah, it's kind of like that. Kind of like the president, I would say, of the channel. Um, so here's how it's going to work. I've got it all written down here, my notes. So first off, I want to wish everybody Happy New Year. I hope everybody had enjoyed their holiday season. Um, let's start off with a little recap of this last couple of weeks. What a hectic time we hosted for Christmas Eve. So that was a just a very rushed, like end of the year, trying to get things ready. School was finishing. I got sick. I think you all heard it on stream a few times. I think for the first Morkborg, as well as before that. I feel like I've been like this on and off sick for like October, November, and most of December. I actually feel pretty good right now. Haven't coughed pretty much at all in the last few days. So maybe I'm on the mend. That's good. But this winter break did not feel like a break. The kids had a blast though. That was great. Um, my son, he's 5. He's very much into, I would say, everything that I liked as a kid, which is really it's very nice to have that. I mean, I know, not trying to force always things on the kids, but I do know that uh, kids sometimes, especially at this age, they like to emulate their parents. So my son got a ton of Ninja Turtles um, toys, action figures, things like that, and I love the Ninja Turtles. I'm not sure if I've actually talked about my love of the Ninja Turtles so much on the channel. Turn up the volume just a touch. Yeah, we could do that. Let me know if this sounds even better. Um, yeah, so I loved the Ninja Turtles as a kid. I had all the toys. I had the play set, their like sewer cave and things like that. I enjoyed it all. Loved the Ninja Turtles as a kid. Loved the movie, especially the first 2 movies. Um, Not so much the third and beyond, but the cartoon series. That was like my first pop culture sort of thing. Like that was my thing. Like when I was a kid, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, those were my thing. That was the thing I was into. Um, and my son now there was a new movie that just came out this August. We went to see it in the movie theater. It's an animated one, kind of in the style of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It had that same animation, that like scratchy animation. It was really really good, and he loved it. He like absolutely loved the movie. And we got all the toys and things like that. Some of my parents bought him some stuff, and he's been playing with them nonstop. We've been playing with them nonstop. We created some zip lines through the house for Michelangelo to use his nunchucks and fly around. It's been great. And so one of the things that I got for Christmas this year, which was something I had kind of been eyeing for a little bit. I've just learned about it actually this past year, but I don't know. Actually, I don't even know when this was released. I think it was recently, maybe 2021 or something like that. But if anybody hasn't read this yet, if you're a Ninja Turtles fan, it's called The Last Ronin. It was created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the founders of the Turtles, right? The creators of the Turtles. Kevin Eastman, I think, had the biggest role in this. Peter Laird has kind of like taken a step back from the Turtles. And if you don't know anything about Ninja Turtles history, there's a fascinating read on not read, excuse me, a watch on Netflix. I think it's The Toys That Made Us. You should check that out because it goes over like the history. I mean, I had known some of those things throughout growing up and hearing things, but yeah, as an adult, I feel like I can appreciate the comic books and the original stuff even more now, rewatching and looking back. And this is excellent. I mean, it is like really fantastic. The artwork is great. The story is really good. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but like you can see it's not black and white. Actually, I'm seeing Dave Mills. It's black and white art. No, not like the originals. This is full color and really great color. Actually, like the art is really well done. But just the premise of it is that it's the future. And if you don't want spoilers here, here's your spoiler. They give one minor spoiler. It's kind of the premise of it, so I don't think it really does spoil it. But basically, it takes place in the future. Shredder, and the Foot Clan has basically taken over. It's like a dystopian future, and Michelangelo is the last surviving turtle. All the rest are they died. So it's a much more adult, much more gritty. I think it's really fantastic. Actually, I'm at the last chapter in it right now, so I actually don't know how it ends, but I'm looking forward to finishing that probably as soon as I get off the stream tonight. But yeah, it's one of the coolest new comic books I've gotten. I haven't gotten too many new comic books in a while. The last new series or something I think I got into was The Walking Dead. Like when, yeah, I think it was The Walking Dead. I got the first three like compendiums. I used to read a ton more comics back in the day, back when I was in college, and like just out of college when I was in my early 20s. That's when I read a lot. But now it's harder to find it. And I also like having comics. I did the Marvel Unlimited app for a time, and that was cool because I could like read as many as I wanted. But I've said this before, even with RPG books, I love having the actual book in my hands. It's just something I really like. We got Dasha in the chat. Hey Dasha, how's it going? Look at this. A lot of people are showing up. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Jeff read the Walking Dead from 2004 to 2019. Yeah, I know. It was an abrupt ending. I actually did not read the final leg of it all because I only read through the three compendiums. I think there's 4 or 5 compendiums. They're massive, and I haven't even gotten a chance to do it. So, when eventually one day I'll circle back and do that. Ooh, Invincible. Yes, my cousin Joey has been dying to get me to read Invincible for a while, and now that show came out. It's like it's 2 seasons. All that stuff's very. I got to get into that too. Really, yeah. All right, so that was some Christmas gifts. I also got another Christmas gift. This is for my sister. For those of you who don't know, I actually keep track of all of my like a old man. I keep track of all my stuff on paper for some reason. I don't know why, but I like to have physical things. So I got this Dungeons. It's the 50th anniversary edition wall calendar. I didn't really even open it, so I'm going to open it right now. Just took out the shrink wrap. I'm going to open this right now, but I like to have a physical calendar. I'm not going to turn my camera around right now because honestly my house is a mess, but I always like to have a calendar. Literally, it's right up here. You probably even see me look at it on stream sometimes. We're talking about dates, and I say, we're going to be back, in 2 weeks when we, whatever, and I look up. I'm always looking at a wall calendar up on the my little cork board up here. So let's see the 50th anniversary edition of the D&D. Okay, interesting. Okay, so, I see how it works. Okay, so it's a monster. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's a monster and then their original, like, monster manual entry drawing. So they're like the red dragon from, like, the 5th edition. Cover art of Fizzbands, right? You can see that right here. And then at the bottom, that's definitely an old school art piece. I'm not sure if it's going to show up too well here. I'll try to get it here without a glare, but you can see it right there. So yeah, there we go. You can see it's like the old school Red Dragon. So Red Dragon is January. Interesting choice for January. February, oh yeah. Behold. Look at that. We all know how much I love Beholders. Look at that. So that's the 5e art. And then, of course, you got this goofy looking thing. Just eye stalks on the top of its head. Look at this. Yeah. The Red Dragons from the Blue Holmes Beginner Set. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah, appreciate the info there. We got March. Oh, a Mind Flayer. Perfect. And look at, oh man, look at this art. This is, see, this is the stuff that I love. This like artwork here, because when I started playing the game, I was playing with some friends, and we just got the red, I think it was the Moldvay box, but the just like the red box set from a friend's older brother, and we just played in that style, like all the books. I had a bunch of the original AD&D books as well, even though we didn't play AD&D necessarily. I still bought a bunch of the books, and that was the art. This type of art is what really grabbed me. This like black and white storm giant for April seems appropriate. April showers, right? Storm giant. May's the Mimic. I actually love this art. This is actually from Tasha's. I remember I did one of my first live streams reviewing like Tasha's. I think I did it with CJ, and I love this artwork from it. They're basically sitting, and mimics are everywhere here. And then, of course, you got this, little nugget at the bottom. June, my birthday month. Let's see. Oh, Blink Dog. Okay. Not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Blink Dog. Okay. And July, we got a Black Dragon. Perfect. Look at that. That's pretty cool art. That top one right there. This other art's a little goofier. The original. And then we've got let's see. August is, oh, here we go. Vecna. Can't go wrong with Vecna. And even Vecna's older art is not that old. Still in color. We've got a Roper. Got a Roper for September. In October, we've got the Demogorgon. Classic. Stranger Things definitely influenced this choice. Guarantee you this would not have been on the October one if it wasn't in Stranger Things. And then Owl Bear for November. Solid. And December is the White Dragon. Okay, that's appropriate. Seems appropriate. White Dragon. So this is going to be going up. It's going to be where I'm going to track all of my new games and things like that, which we'll be talking about very soon. So, all right. So last thing, I'll show you some unboxing. I think actually some people talked about it in the chat already that Shadow Dark arrived. So I got the Shadow Dark. It arrived. I posted about this on social media actually a few days ago. And yeah, I got the deluxe special edition because, I don't know, I wanted to have the special edition. But I'm kind of regretting not getting the regular version because the regular version has that really cool beholder-like creature. And I think it's like become iconic with Shadow Dark. Like when it first was released, I saw this cool Lich and then the beholder. And I was like, all right, I like both. I like both creatures. This one was supposed to be like the premium version. And it came with like a better, like, like, I don't say, I think it's supposed to be leather. I feel like it's some sort of leather, but it's not like plush leather or something like that. It's just like, kind of feels like a standard book cover. But it is, I mean, it's really nice. The everything about this book is so nice. I love that it's digest size. It's like almost like looks like a Bible, honestly, right? And then all of this stuff that I've been using PDFs for, charts and spells, and I can have them now. I have the book. I have it. And I really do like the design of it all. I love it all. I love everything about it. It's very useful. It comes with a little tassel for the bookmark. It's very readable, easy to digest. It's a great thing to have, and I've been using it actually quite a bit in the last few days since I got it. So the standard one, I kind of wish I had a copy, so I might end up getting another one at some point, but Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but the cover really. I mean, if you can't really see it too well on the camera here, I apologize, but it's got this awesome lich. It kind of looks like a Sararak in a way, but it's like the named lich in the Shadow Dark universe. It really grabbed me, and so I got this one because I wanted it. But now I might have to get a new one. I don't know. We'll see. Also, another thing too, like if I play in real life, I know I don't play as much in real life, but if I do play in real life, I'd like to have a book for myself, right? And then a book that at least my players can share or something like that. Because, I don't want to be passing around my book, especially if I'm going to put notes in it or something, or, pages, mark off pages with post-its or something. I will need it. So I might have to get another one. We'll see. But I got the book, my Sting Bat, because I was one of the first backers, something like that. And then at the level that I backed it at, it came with a bunch of things. I think it was kind of standard for a lot of them. And if you like didn't just get the book, one of the options was to get all the like the other add-ons, and one of them is the DM screen, also like digest size, which is kind of interesting. It's not that big, but it does contain a lot of cool tables that are very easily accessible here. It's nice to have. One of the ones that I actually really like having here is this random encounter one, because I feel like I always forget when to roll, how many times you have to roll. It was a problem with Tomb of Horrors. I tried to keep up with it as best I could, but I ended up always having to look that up, and that's right here. So that's a good one. And then the treasure and like how what unique features you can give treasure, things like that in the moment when you want to just have something. This is a good, and the design is pretty good. I like it a lot. Very fits the theme, the black and white, you know, classic stuff. And then it also came with all of the additional material. So the cursed scrolls. These are like the zine, the magazine that Kelsey from the Arcane Library created as like supplemental material. Has other classes, campaign settings, things like that. This is where like the witch came from Estelle's character Agatha. The seer, which Nate played for Frank, it was his character, came in this one, the third one, I believe. Yeah, because this is like the Norse one. And then, and also his other character, Sunny, was also from here. The Knight of Saint Idris, the demon knight, basically. And so all of these extra ones came in as well. I like how they're like, almost like comic books, boarded and bagged. It's kind of cool. And then a set of starting characters. So if you wanted to like play with some people, like I said, in person, I can see me taking this to the gaming club, having a game night where people get introduced to the game and just pass out these, or say choose from one of these. There's 10, so there's a bunch of variety. Comes with the artwork, and the character sheets are so simple, so it's easy to get people into. And then the last few things were the extra monsters, which I love. Extra monsters, that always good, because the bestiary, with the start of a game, it's kind of small, but they give you options for like how to make your own. It's not that hard to do. I've actually done it. It's really great. And oozes. Look, I got some oozes here. And the last is the adventures. So actually, what's great is one of the things I've always loved about Kelsey's writing is that everything's very simple, straightforward, right? So the entire adventure, like this one, Wavestone Monolith, which was a pretty big hit on the channel here. We did this. It was my first intro to Shadow Dark. It was Nate, Jeff, and Chris, just the three of them. They played, and we played Wavestone Monolith. I think it was 2 episodes. We made characters and then played. Probably if we played in real life, it would have been like a 3-hour game. Honestly, making characters aside, 3-hour game or so. So this is it. This is the whole adventure. It's one like, and it's you can hear it. It's like decent cardstock, front and back. That's the adventure. So it's the map and all the background, the random encounters, special equipment, and all of the keyed areas. Right? Simple, to the point. I don't know if you can maybe even read some of it, but like it's that simple. The adventures for Shadow Dark are meant to be quick. You run in, you do whatever you're supposed to do, and get out. Right? You're searching for treasure and stuff like that. So it's really straightforward. Making an adventure like this is so easy. Not easy to do. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of time. But running an adventure when you have one made like this is so easy to do. So really great job writing. There's 5 of them. We've actually played this one on the channel. there's 4 other ones. I will definitely be playing some of these this year. So you'll see. We'll jump into that in a little bit. I know people are probably wondering what's the state of the channel. So anyway, so that's just a little introduction to what I got for Christmas, how the holidays went, and I hope all of your holidays and Happy New Year to everybody watching went well, because it's a great time of year. It's a great time of year. Let me see if I missed any chats here. Let's see, Jeff. Yeah, you're right. Shadow Dark's book, as well as I know Runehammer and stuff like that. They're all very similar. Like an OSR book captures the black and white spirit of the old books with genuinely good illustrations. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Let's see here. Jeff also got the standard Shadow Dark book. Oh, good. Oh, so we can. Yeah, we'll check. We'll when we meet up Monday, this coming Monday, back to the gaming club, I'll bring my book. We'll see. What's up, Nick Gray? Happy New Year. Heritage, how are you? John B, how much was the book? Oh, you know what? I don't know. I think you're assuming. I'm assuming you're talking about Shadow Dark. I don't know. Let's see. I think the whole Kickstarter was 100. I might be wrong. I'm not so sure. It wasn't a bad Kickstarter though. It was like you got a lot of stuff. Like you saw what that was. The whole core rulebook, the premium edition, somewhere in the realm of $100. I forget exactly what it was, but look, Kickstarter is one of those things where like you might end up paying a premium, but it gets the thing you want started. So without it, it's like you wouldn't have it. So I understand why the costs are so necessary. But honestly, I play Warhammer 40K. So, it is what it is. James, the Doc Game. Any notable Kickstarters you have backed? Fernbloom, perhaps. Interesting. I don't know what Fernbloom is. I know everybody's clamoring about the Matt Colville RPG. I think CJ said he was backing that, so I'll probably just see what's up when CJ gets it. I try to be, I don't want to say frugal or anything like that, but I just try to be careful with how much I invest into something, because time is always the issue with me. Like, I would love to play 1,000,000 games, and you see I'm trying to as many. We played a lot of new games this year, but it's just hard, and I want to make sure that if I'm getting something, I'm going to be able to use it. So I haven't really done too many Kickstarters. However, I will say I did back the Palladium Books Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG that was kickstarted maybe like a month or two ago. I'm very excited about that. Oh, and Esper the Bard. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not new, but I did join the Esper the Bard Kickstarter back in the spring for the Monstrous Heroes, and I have an update on that as well. So we'll talk about all that in a second. John B, don't trust Kickstarter. Don't trust it. I don't know how you couldn't. I think it's actually great. If the Kickstarter doesn't go off, if it doesn't meet its goal, you get your money back. There's no loss in there, and a lot of Kickstarters use the I don't know what it's called, like backer kit or something like that, where it's like kind of a company that kind of manages fulfilling everything for you. So I feel like everything's pretty straightforward. I mean, yes, there are some shadier Kickstarters or other startup things like that, but as long as you see that it's legitimate, it's going to be good. Wow, the MCDM RPG has 54 hours left and has just short of $4 million pledged. Wow. Yeah, well, it's Matt Colville, and he's been a main voice in the industry for a long time, so I feel like he was gonna do that no matter what. I don't know anything about it though. I haven't really I've seen the ads. It's my social media has been just pumping me with ads about it, and at some point I want to check it out. I just, like I said, my thing is unless I am really passionate about something, I just know that I probably won't get a chance to play it. So it's been kind of hard for me to jump into a lot of Kickstarters. But I did join the Esper the Bard one. I know that I'm gonna play that one for sure. And then of course the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one I said at the beginning. Very excited. Victor Valente, when will you create your story slash campaign and launch on Kickstarter? Well, I don't listen. It sounds like a great idea, like to just do your own thing and make something. And the one thing I have a hard time doing, and I know I've mentioned this before, is I have a hard time promoting myself. It's something I don't know. It's like innate. It's like something I just can't. I don't like promoting. It's something I can't stand. And I have written some modules. I have actually, but before I don't want to say before I started the channel, but before like fifth edition, I didn't run too many pre-made adventures. I actually would say I was mostly a homebrew DM. I just kind of did my own thing. I played for about 3 years. I was the GM for a long-running Star Wars RPG. It was the D20 RPG system from Wizards of the Coast. I did that. I made my own story up for that. I did my own D&D campaigns. I kind of just did my own stuff. Like I just always did it. Maybe writing a module would be something I would do. I mean, anything that I do right, I feel like the process of doing it would be more than I'd want to undertake. But, never say never. O'Hare Bravo 4, do you plan on playing more Shadowdark adventures? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I am definitely going to do more Shadowdark. In fact, I'll talk about it right now. Joey can help promote me. Yeah, Joey will promote me. There we go. He'll be my promoter. Him and CJ. They'll be my promoters. If you haven't done so already, do me a favor and like this video actually too, because these live streams, while they're great, they don't get nearly the views. It's just people that are like really interested in what's going on the channel, behind the scenes stuff that watch. I feel like people who just watch casually, watch an adventure, they might not tune in for this. So just like this video, make sure that it doesn't throw off the algorithm. Yeah, CJ can promote too. We'll see. Am I going to the Philly? Hold on. Philly this weekend to the Gaming Expo. Oh, I did not realize there was one. No, for me, it's the hardest thing about, like I've said, time, right? Like getting out is challenging. I have 2 young kids. It's a job and stuff like that. So it ends up being really hard. I shouldn't say job. Everybody's got work to do, but it's a job that is not so great with schedules because, we only have off when kids are off, right? So I can't really just take extra days here and there if I need to. It's got to be, for a purpose, things like that. But Warhammer is kind of like what I save a lot of my weekend trips for. If I'm going away to play a game, it'll probably be to go to a Warhammer tournament or run our own for our gaming club, something like that. Another question here. Do you stream your gameplay live? Yes, John, welcome. Yeah, if you... I assume that you don't watch too much of the live play stuff then. Definitely, right here on YouTube. We stream live all the time. Currently, we've got Curse of Strahd, things like that. D&D, other games, all of it here, a lot. All right, so I'm going to get back to my notes now. So I answered a bunch of questions. I'm going to get to the notes. I'll look back to the comments in a sec. But let's talk about this year on the channel. So right now, we have obviously Curse of Strahd going strong. We've got 5 episodes under our belt. We're returning next week, January 9th. Merkborg, which is the this one, if you haven't seen it yet, Merkborg. We've been playing this now. We're going to episode 3, the finale of Rot Black Sludge, which is the starter adventure in this game. We're going to finish that tomorrow. So that's our next stream. So if you want to catch stream, John, jump in tomorrow. All right, you can catch up on YouTube for session 0 and the first episode, but we're going to have a finale tomorrow. And that's a Merkborg. And yeah, like we had a lot of stuff this year, a lot of stuff on the channel. I'm going to go through a couple things, a good recap, and we can bring up the nostalgia factor here. But did you know we finished Spelljammer, Light of Xerxes this year? I didn't. I had to look back to my old calendar, and I realized we did Light of Xerxes, the finale, in January, after the final roll in January. So really, we had a full campaign end. That was in January of the year. We did have 3 Supernatural 20 adventures. Those are the one-shot horror adventures. Keep on the Borderlands, which was one of the mainstays here on the channel for a long time, finished its run in May of this year. The finale was epic, or after the final roll was epic. You should definitely check this out if you haven't done so. I mean, that's a commitment. I know some people are rewatching. It was a lot of fun though. That was a special game. And this was the year of the new game. We played a ton of new games this year because for a while my channel's really mostly focused on D&D, especially 5e. That was the game system that I kind of intended to start this channel with. But we played in February of 2023. We played Call of Cthulhu for the first time, and that was very satisfying. We played Mr. Corbett. It was a fantastic way to, I think, start the our journey into that game. We will be bringing back Call of Cthulhu for sure. We'll talk more about that in the reveals. In March, we ended up doing Shadow Dark, which I also loved. It became one of my new favorite games. We played Wavestone Monolith. Then eventually we even jumped into Tomb of Horrors in June, which we used Shadow Dark rules for. In April, we did the End of the World RPG, which, oh my god, looking back on that adventure was so much fun. The End of the World RPG, you play yourself. You don't play a character, you play yourself. We had CJ and Andrew and Stefano play. We had a blast mimicking ourselves, these like fake personas. Dasha and Joey were NPCs. It was great. That was a fun game. In May and June, we played the Star Trek RPG by Modifius, which was, I think it was Star Trek Adventures. Star Trek was such a great game, and I really wish that we could explore that system more. I loved its 2D20 system. The HMS USS Beagle will eventually fly someday, but I don't foresee it coming back in the near future. But it was a lot of fun to play that game. Especially we had a mixture of people who knew Star Trek, did not know Star Trek. It was a lot of fun. And then, like I said before, Tomb of Horrors lasted from June through November. It was a short, I call it a mini campaign, but it was a campaign for sure. We played it with Shadow Dark rules. That was a lot of fun. And then September and October saw Warhammer Wrath and Glory, which, being a Warhammer fan, we had a lot of Warhammer players play with us. And that was excellent. I mean, the carnage that ensued, the rules that we got wrong, all that, fantastic. And last but not least, we started up Curse of Strahd, the flagship, adventure from 5th edition. I've run it before, but I'm having so much fun revisiting it. And Merkborg, which we're finishing off tomorrow. So we had quite a few new games this year. Just like looking at it, like 13 different projects. Like, I mean, I kind of put out as much content as I possibly could. And I hope you enjoyed 2023. It was a great year for the channel. Like, it really was. Like, I'm not going to get too much into the weeds here and talk about like the metrics and things like that, but like the channel saw tremendous growth. If you look at YouTube right now, we're at like 2.39 subscribers, right? 2K subscribers. But that doesn't really tell the full story here. It's the watch hours. It's the engagement, the comments, like liking and commenting, I think helps. And the more people that are watching the content that like and subscribe and do all this stuff, kind of it snowballs, right? And so that all helps. So you're all building and making this kind of like really work. The watch hours went up like, I don't remember. I can't give you, we're talking about the whole year here, but I know that like in the beginning, right, when I first started streaming, you had to have 4,000 watch hours in the year. We clear that every month. Like, it's really great. So, we're building and the channel is strong. I think it's seen a lot of more new people come in. I think these new games, which was kind of like the intention. I mean, I love the idea that we got to play new games, but I think bringing a lot of new games, and I tried to promote as much as I can stand promoting by posting in like social media groups for these other games, Discord communities, things like that, and trying to just get people to see what we do here. Because I feel like when people come and check out what we do, they end up liking it. They end up staying. I really think overwhelmingly a lot of these projects we're seeing with positivity. I mean, like I said, if you comment, if you come into streams, you tell me what you want, I definitely get a better sense of what to do next, right? And that's kind of how 2023 was. I kind of tried to do what I love, but also kind of guided by, the methods in which how to do it by the feedback from everybody. So thank you to to everybody who watched in 2023. A couple other things to talk about. Some other updates like non-gaming stuff. Patreon. I mean, the Patreon has seen quite an uptick in people interested in it. Not only do I see more like engagement with it, we're at, I think we have like 25 patrons right now on Patreon. It's a lot of fun to engage with people on Patreon, whether you're somebody who just throws a couple bucks in, the basic monthly subscriptions, hearing a nice comment from each and every one of you, or if you're in the other tiers where I get to chat with you or play a game with you. I mean, that's a lot of fun. The Patreon right now is up to date. I did update like a lot of different tiers and things like that, just small stuff, tweaks, and added a couple of new tiers. Nothing major, but you can check it out. If you want to support in a more direct way, Patreon's probably one of the better ways. They're great with helping the content creators, kind of keep things going. The Patreon's been really useful because like all these books and modules, Roll20 modules, sometimes I even buy the thing on Roll20. It ends up costing something, and at the beginning of the channel, I was just fronting that money, but now I can definitely use the Patreon money and get whatever I need. When I need something, I don't have to hesitate. I can just say I'm getting it. If I need eventually one day I'm gonna need a new mic, things like that. It's just nice to have something to use as funds. Not looking to quit my day job, but it's nice when you get some support that way. So if you'd like to check out the Patreon, do so. Also considering adding another level, something that's kind of like the equivalence of the $15 or $20 range, something like that. But I would maybe do something where we do like a design, something periodically throughout the year, and if you're in that tier, you get that thing for free. Like it could be, I mean, the mugs are great. So we definitely have my wife, if you don't know, does the merch stuff. She makes things on Etsy. Links for her stuff, the merch store is always in below. You can check it out in the description. But she makes stuff like this. Like she does crafts basically. During the holiday season, she was so busy every night making stuff. She does runs the Etsy store. It's not gaming related at all. In fact, it's just really custom orders. You can get T-shirts, mugs, espresso cups. Like that's one of the things she does a lot of, espresso cups. But whatever, really, it's just anything that you want to customize, she can make it for you. So you can check out her site, and she does all this stuff. And I was thinking about doing something like periodically, maybe like 3 times a year or something like that, quarterly, where I do a design, whether it's a mug, a shirt, or something. Not quite sure yet, but something that would be like a limited run, only on Patreon, that sort of thing, and just have that be a tier. And of course, if you're in a higher tier than that, you'd get it anyway. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on what I would do, but if you have any ideas for something, just want to give people options, right? Like something that they would want to support at, if that seems like an idea, send it my way. And then last couple things here, memberships. I did make the YouTube memberships open. So oh, yeah, actually, one other thing here. So at some point, I'm sure there will be some more spots to open in that upper tier, the one where you get to play a game. We have our campaigns actually coming to an end right now. We're playing Red Hand of Doom, which I think I promoted a little bit, not promoted. I've posted about it a few times when we started it. It's coming to an end soon, so we'll do some more updates on that eventually. But yeah, it's Patreon's a great way to support. And now a couple other things here. What did I want to say? I lost my train of thought. Channel memberships. Yeah. So if you don't know this, at the bottom of the screen next to the channel name, there's a join button now, which means that you can join the channel memberships on YouTube. So this is kind of like YouTube's way of having like Patreon sort of, or like a subscription membership to support content creators. It's really great. I definitely considered not doing it for a long time because, like I said, I just have a hard time promoting. But I realized that some people like to, and I've talked with a bunch of people about this. Some people don't like to go to like an external site, like Patreon. You have to sign up, you have to create an account, you have to do all this stuff, and people don't want to bother with that, right? Like but they might throw me money on PayPal or Kofi or something like that because you can just use your PayPal account. And the join thing is great because you get to stay here on YouTube, right? You don't have to worry about anything else. You stay right on YouTube. It gives you actually a little insignia next to your name. You can see like James right now has the blue star. That means he joined this month, and that's basically just like a little bit of a thing that you can kind of, I don't know, like a badge of honor, right? That you've been with the channel for a long time. And then the other thing is that there's emojis. So you saw them probably going off in the chat before. If you're a member, post an emoji right now just so people get an idea of what it is. I just put 2 basic ones in there right now, but I'm looking to make more. You have to actually, not to get too much into it, but you have to like post. It has to be a certain size and like format, so I can't just put anything in there. I have to like kind of go through Canva, make it like a different size, different ratio or whatever. But I'm going to eventually and do more of these. And like with the live to play channel, you know, I don't do Twitch. We've talked about this before. I don't like Twitch. Like it doesn't never seem to gain traction for me. I feel like it always split my audience, and I feel like most people watch me on YouTube. So I kind of just focus on YouTube. But Twitch has a lot more of the integrated like chat stuff where like you can really have fun with like in the chats, and this is kind of like something like that where you can have a little bit more fun with some icons and things like that. So I'm going to work on getting more of those. I just wanted people to be able to have it as an option. Do not feel obligated. It's just $1. So you know, it's something you could join if you feel like joining it. You know, links down below. Thank you, James. I see you're posting the Beholder Bob and the Tabletop Warrior. Those are the first 2, but I'm going to make all the artwork from the channel eventually into little pictures that you could post. But yeah, and more. And yeah, that's kind of the updates here. I mean, we had a great 2023. It was really a fantastic year, and I am reinvigorated. I really want to bring a lot more to the channel in 2024. Okay. So, dang, look at this, James. I don't even know what that means. Gifted 10 members. I've seen this before. You can gift some memberships. I guess it just picks people watching or people subscribed. Wow, James, thank you. Appreciate this, man. That's awesome. Well, all of you that just got a gifted membership, thank you to James. Appreciate it. 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate the support as always. Yeah, so jump in the memberships if you want to stay here on YouTube and contribute. All right, so reveals. I get it. I know you've all come here because you want to see what's coming up. What's coming up? Wayne is here. Wayne, welcome. Of course, Wayne, Kingsport. I know. I'm telling you right now, Wayne. There is a possibility, a non-zero chance that Kingsport will return to the channel. So, a non-zero chance. I can't say when, but a non-zero chance. Absolutely that he will be back on the channel. Okay. Oh, Kingsport emoji. Yeah, 100%. Great job. Oh, now that's a lot of ideas. Forget just emojis in my art. Just like getting, oh, we got to get some art. Oh my gosh. All the Spelljammer art that Estelle made. Oh, this is it. Kingsport merch. Yeah. Oh, Dasha, you're right on. Okay. All right. I got a lot to do. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the reveals. I shouldn't say so much reveals. We're going to talk about what's coming up in 2024. Got my notes. All right. So number 1, obviously Curse of Strahd is going to be continuing. Now, Curse of Strahd, I mentioned this in, I think, this summer one when I announced Curse of Strahd, that we're going to do things a little differently. Like, I want to always have a game that's going weekly. I don't want it to be every other week, but that means that periodically we may need to take some breaks. In fact, kind of like this winter break was kind of like a example, right? So we had a couple of things going on. People were traveling. Michelle was headed out of the country. Stefano was going to be on vacation as well. And just the weeks around the holidays weren't great. So we said, let's just pause. We'll take 3 full weeks off, which is a pretty decent break, especially when it comes to a game that you're playing weekly. But we filled that time with a new game. We filled it with Merkborg, right? So that's kind of the idea of what I had. I wanted to have like seasons of the games that are especially long. which means that you have to fill in, specifically put time to put a pause in, right? And I think one of the natural pauses for me would be the summer. Summer is when a lot of my players, being teachers, end up doing stuff, vacations, and August is honestly just like out the window, right? Like August is just a month where barely any streaming gets done. In the past few years, I've always done like some recordings so that I could have some content that keeps going. But this year I didn't even do that. I just took like legitimately 2 full weeks off from anything, and it was great. Like I didn't think about. Well, I mean, I thought about gaming, but I didn't think about like trying to get content, pushing content, just because it was vacation, and I wanted to enjoy it, and didn't worry so much about getting something recorded or having material there, and I didn't think it messed anything up. People were okay with it. In fact, that phrase like "distance makes the heart grow fonder." I think that if we took a month off or something, even a more extended period of time from Curse of Strahd, as long as it had a nice natural conclusion, people would be fine coming back to it at season 2, and maybe if we needed a season 3, but I don't foresee it going too far than that. But that was my initial thought, right? I talked about that earlier in the year. So that's the plan, right? Curse of Strahd's coming back in January. I wouldn't consider this 3 weeks off to be a season or anything, or a break, but we'll continue with season 1, and I think it'll go until the end of what I would say the school year, May or June. Something like that. We'll find a nice natural conclusion, and once we get closer to May and I know where it's going, then we'll have our break, right, and then come back in the fall for season 2. And I think season 2 will probably be the end of Curse of Strahd. We'll probably finish that at some point in the winter time next year. So maybe like a year from now is when we'll be looking towards the end. But who knows? I mean, I'm actually not the best judge of these things, and what the players do is honestly sometimes beyond me. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. But that's the plan with Curse of Strahd. In the meantime, though, I do want to continue having new games on the channel. That was a lot of fun to play new games, but I also know that after playing a lot of these new games that I really enjoyed some of them. And so I don't want to say I'm not going to play those games because, like, for example, Call of Cthulhu. We played the game in February. It's been almost a year since we played it, and I have been dying to play more of Call of Cthulhu. So Call of Cthulhu is definitely coming back to the channel. We're going to be playing a modern setting. So we played the classic Cthulhu, the early 1900s. Now we're going to be playing a modern game. I have the one in mind, so I'll take suggestions for future ones, but I know which one I want to run. I've got it picked out. I don't want to say it now because it's not coming right up. We'll be playing that in the springtime. I've talked with the group. I'm definitely going to be bringing back the Call of Cthulhu group, so it'll be Tim, John, and Dasha. They're going to be playing in April is our start date goal. Oh gosh, O'Hare Bravo. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. That's amazing. Thank you. See, this is what I love here, because now I feel like sometimes we don't get a chance to like communicate this way. We're always playing and focusing on the game, which is great, but I never get a chance to like talk about this stuff, and I think more people are hearing this maybe for the first time. Like maybe you didn't even know that we had channel memberships, and that's something that now we know. Okay, so definitely Call of Cthulhu is coming back. That's going to be in April. That's going to be after our spring breaks. We're going to come back and play some Call of Cthulhu. So that'll be kind of going side by side with Curse of Strahd in the spring. So like from April to probably end of Curse of Strahd, they'll kind of go side by side. And that may be a little bit longer of an adventure. I wouldn't say it's going to be a campaign or anything like that, but it's probably going to be more than 3 or 4 episodes. Might end up being somewhere in the realm of like 6 or 7 episodes. So that's going to be coming in the springtime to kind of like end the school year. Now, the other thing is Shadow Dark. We played that a lot here on the channel. Shadow Dark was a hit, no doubt. Wavestone Monolith was one of the bigger viewed games. I think it kind of rerode the wave of the Shadow Dark Kickstarter train, and people really enjoyed it. And then I think a lot of people stayed. they ended up watching Tomb of Horrors, and that was also another big hit. Tomb of Horrors had far more views than even like Keep on the Borderlands had for its first few episodes, which now Keep on the Borderlands is, kind of like in legacy mode. So it's been viewed quite a lot. It's been 2.5, 3 years now. 2.5 years. So since we started, so like the older games have more views naturally because they've been around more. But Tomb of Horrors took off really, really well, and I think people like Shadow Dark. I think a lot of people. I mean, let us know in the comments right now if you came here from Shadow Dark. I feel like a lot of people came to the channel for that game specifically, and now I've got the Kickstarter stuff. I got all the books, hard copies. I was actually quite motivated to use them this last week. I kind of had a lot of not free time, but I was home and I had the books. I was pouring through all the stuff. I created an adventure. I created a Shadow Dark adventure. It's going to be a one shot. I did the map. I got the map done. I keyed all the rooms. I did the random encounter table. I've got it all. It's kind of set up like Wavestone Monolith or any of those other Kickstarter adventures. I've got to figure out how to actually be able to post it, but I'm going to run it first. We're going to premiere it here on the channel. I'm going to, live stream it for you all to see, and then I'll post it somewhere, probably on Patreon, but not locked behind a paywall or anything like that. Just there, because that's a good place to post things. It's a little more official than like just having it on a Google Drive, but I'll post it somewhere. I'll make the file available. I'll find out what I need to do to, third party stuff, make sure it's, legitimate, and so everybody can play it. But I have a exciting adventure, and it is themed for Valentine's Day. So we'll be recording that and posting it around the holiday, maybe like the week leading up to Valentine's Day. It's going to be good. Very excited about it. And then I'm also going to be running one of the Kickstarter Shadow Dark one-shots. I don't want to even say the title right now, but if you have the Kickstarter, you probably know which one it is. It's themed. We're going to run it around St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to try to hit all the holidays. The one thing I really love is I love holidays, and I feel like I always miss some opportunities to stream something or do something themed for the holiday. I don't think I really did any Christmassy type one-shots. I actually played in one. One of our patrons, James, ran an awesome The Lich Who Stole Christmas adventure for us in our Patreon game, and that was fun. I got to play. It was really, really cool. But I want to do that. I want to like have themed things for the holidays. So, we'll have a Valentine's Day and a St. Patrick's Day themed Shadow Dark adventure coming up. So that's going to be more Shadow Dark to the channel. And eventually maybe even Shadow Dark may make another return. But for right now, that's what I've got planned for Shadow Dark. So Call of Cthulhu coming in spring and April. Shadow Dark coming much sooner in the wintertime, February and March. So busy, right? Right now we got Curse of Strahd, all those things. And then summer. So, all right. There's a lot of up in the air with the second half of the year. Think about it, right? Like, it's also, I can't predict the future. I don't know exactly how things are going to pan out. But when Curse of Strahd comes to the end of season 1 and Call of Cthulhu is done, it's going to be June, and I'm going to have to fill that void. I've 100% am committed to bringing back the Keep crew and the Char Coalition in an adventure this year at some point. Now, if we end up playing in that summer, right? June, let's say we start in June. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to give away too much information right now, but we're definitely bringing everybody back. Let's see here. So we're going to do an adventure. It's going to be if it isn't in June in the summer because summer doesn't work. Okay, if it like because scheduling is tricky. We're definitely going to do something small before August, like kind of like a tying. It's going to be a reunion. It's going to be maybe not that many episodes. It's something kind of like my own little homebrew type thing that kind of wraps up the ending to Keep on the Borderlands. But then at some point, I also want to run a full blown campaign again for them. Okay. And I know there's a lot of people who've commented on what they want. I cannot say at this point what's going to be the thing. I've heard them all, though. All right. I've heard them all from Amber Castle to Against the Giants to, whatever. I've heard it all. And I'm not opposed to all of them. I have tons of the old adventures that I'm dying to run. And I think I can connect them in some way. And I see people say Fritz. Yeah, Fritz is he's doing his thing. He's got a lot of stuff going on right now, so I'm not gonna expect that he'll be in. But we'll talk to Chris. Sorry, Fritz. We'll see where he's at, even if it's just a have him on for a chat or something. But we'll see. I'm not sure what his schedule can permit. But we'll I think more info about the Keep reunion has to come towards the summer. So I'll maybe do another live stream at the end of like the school year and give an update. But there 100% 2024 will have a reunion of the Keep on the Borderlands, without a doubt. Like I said, whether it's going to be a full blown game, like a real campaign, or just a quick reunion and then a full blown campaign later, something is going to happen with them. We're going to have our reunion for certain. So that's like priority number one. But we've got a couple things we got to do, right? We got to get Curse of Strahd Season 1 underway. We've got to get Call of Cthulhu. We've got to get Shadow Dark definitely back on. And I do have a couple ideas for some new games, because the only thing that I want to make sure I do is I don't just get it doesn't get stale, right? Like if the if it's always just the same stuff on the channel, then people might lose interest. Well, I hope not, but I want to spice things up, right? And we're taking a break from Curse of Strahd. Yes, I want to bring out Keep on the Borderlands, but there's even a question as to like what system we're going to use for Keep on the Borderlands, because we played 5e, but we also did homebrew it. We had house rules for like making it a little more deadly. Like I don't know what's to be of D&D in 2024, because 6th edition of the game is supposed to be coming out. In the beginning, the early stages of the 1 D&D playtest, I was all over it. I was reading through the documents. I was trying to keep up with everything, especially like I think it was 2022. It was the summer of 2022. That's when the first playtest I think came out, and I was all about it. I was like, should we stream it? Should we like do the playtest? And then just like too many other projects got in the way, and then of course the OGL debacle kind of turned me off. It soured me to Wizards of the Coast stuff, and I had no interest in like playing 6th edition at or the play test of 6th edition. I even during that whole OGL debacle, I said like look, we're gonna do what's best. I've been playing D&D for a long time. I'd like to play other games, but D&D was something we started the channel with, so it's not like it off limits to play. We're playing Curse of Strahd right now. I mean, that game was written well before the debacle, right? So like ultimately we're gonna play whatever we want to play, right? Whatever we want to do. And I do think, I'm not going to talk about the OGL stuff anymore, but, I do think that whatever Wizards of the Coast does, as long as we're all aware of it and, they're doing things with the right, with the people in mind, the people who are playing the game in mind, that's what matters most. People who are, really the life of the game, the people who are making content, then I'm willing to support and play whatever game. But if 6th edition isn't great, if I don't like it, if we don't like it, then we don't play it. We could play 5e forever. We have all the books. They're already, it's sunk cost, right? We've got it all. I'm also not opposed to switching these up. Look, Tomb of Horrors was super successful in Shadow Dark. Now, I don't think Shadow Dark's the right game for Keep on the Borderlands, necessarily. Maybe if we started it with Shadow Dark, maybe, but the vibe that we had, the way that we played our 5e game was I think it to switch to something like Shadow Dark now would be hard to do. But I'm not opposed to like switching up the game system if it's something that we all like. Shadow Dark for the keep. We'll need a stack of spare character sheets. Yeah, yeah. No, I think yeah, Shadow Dark with the keep on the Borderlands would have been hard. Just the amount of enemies would have been really tough for the group to handle. I'm gonna look back in the chat for a minute, but I do see a couple things right now. Jeff saying we'll play whatever, play 5e, absolutely. The doc game, but the layoffs. Talking about the Wizards of the Coast layoffs. Yeah, no. Look, as a company, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast. I mean, you know, I'm not bound down to corporate overlords, but I like D&D, and I have a lot of the D&D books, and I'm not opposed to playing 6th edition if it's something that I want to do. Um, but I haven't even seen the rules for it, so I can't say that I'm certainly going to be playing 6th edition or whatever they end up calling it. So I haven't decided on exactly what's going on. My initial reaction is to keep on the Borderlands 5th edition because it's what we played in. We have all the books, the characters are already made in that. We can tweak and modify and just kind of, you know, change things as necessary, but we don't have to redo everything. So that's my like mindset right now. But I think if we had to or we wanted to or it was something that we absolutely wanted to do was to switch it to a different campaign, a different rule set, then we would do that. We would just do whatever we as a group decide. And I wouldn't even make that decision. We'd talk with a group, we'd all come to the conclusion. It wouldn't be like I'm going to tell them what we're doing. But I think we'd have a discussion about it at the very least. So right now it's hopefully just going to stay at 5e for now, and we'll see. We'll see what's to come. Let me go back in the chat. I haven't looked at everything. Let me see if I missed some things. But let me know your thoughts. So the first half of 2024, Curse of Strahd, a couple of Shadow Dark adventures, and Call of Cthulhu. And then when we hit the summertime, we're going to be doing a Keep reunion and maybe some other new game. So that's the first part of the year. Let's see. Chris Ryan, Bob is like the guy who knows which team won the sports lottery. Because I know who we're playing. Yeah. Well, it's in the name of the channel. Tabletop Bob. Good. A lot of people are excited. Happy about the Keep reunion. Good. Do I believe a full-blown campaign will start sometime in 2024? Well, that really depends. I don't. I did this before. This is Chris from Long Island again, I think. Um, you know, with the way my time, time is obviously such the biggest issue here. If I could just play a million games, yes, I would start a new one in 2020. I start a new one right now and just go. But I found it very difficult to run. I think I was doing Wild Beyond the Witchlight and Keep on the Borderlands at the same time, as well as periodic Supernatural 20s and one shots here and there, Candle Keeps, things like that. With the first 2 years of the channel, right? And that was very difficult. That was the second and third year of the channel. No, maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember, but it was earlier on in the channel, and that was very difficult. It was very hard to like do 2 full-blown campaigns, one shots, new games, and still have like sanity and time. And so I don't know that I can say we're going to have a full-blown campaign going on when Curse of Strahd is going on. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I would love to have a new game start as well, because I think ultimately it's fun to start a new game, and it keeps the content going, and I think that's important. I want to make sure there's always. I don't want there to be too many lulls in the year. We haven't really had that. We've been pretty consistent. But yeah, I think so. I think that's the case. What happens if Bob does a short summer campaign for the group and one of them gets knocked off? Well, as in like we vote them off, or their characters dies. Is that what you mean? I think I think you're talking about player a character death. So if somebody were to die in a short game, let's say we played like 4, 6 sessions, something like that, 4 to 6 sessions, and somebody were to die in that, they would die. They'd come in with a new character for the remainder, and if we ended up doing another full blown campaign at some point, yeah, they'd probably bring that new character in. Probably, but I guess it depends on when it happens. If Hieronymus Bosch died in this new one shot, it would be very sad. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if he dies, if he dies, he dies. I mean, you all know by now that I can't pull punches. I can't do it. It's not in me. I feel like a fraud. Um, we got Nate in the channel or in the chat. What's up, Nate? Let's see here. James, so healthy, reasonable, and collaboration. Not surprised, but pleased. I'm not sure what that was from. I might have missed it. Collaboration. Hmm. Oh, just like in general, like how we do things? Probably. That must be what it's from. Yeah, we try to do things together. I mean, look, I try to run things how I want. I mean, when you're the dungeon master or the GM master or whatever, you end up putting a lot more into the game. Everybody, I'm sure you all know that. If you've never been a GM or DM before, you obviously also know that um, the GM has to spend more time than you do, right? You basically just make your character show up, make sure you are reasonable, and but it's all about collaboration. Like I feel like a lot of issues that groups that why they don't really last or they break apart is because there's not that like understanding of collaboration at the beginning. The DM can say it's my way or the highway. Characters get disinterested, players get disinterested. So I try to always make sure that when we're doing something, it's a group decision. Nick Gray, if he dies, he dies. Yeah, absolutely. Drago's right. I mean, that's the case. Yeah, Jeff, absolutely right. Your character dying sucks, but having him not die when the dice said he should makes every subsequent victory meaningless. I agree 100%. I've gotten to the habit actually of rolling actually just completely out in the open. In a lot of my new games, I've been doing that. In Morkborg, I did that as well. I don't know that I want to do it for all the games, like especially long campaigns. One of the things I always love about D&D is that there is strategy in it. Like in all RPGs, there's some strategy, right? Otherwise, it would just be role playing all the time. Combat has a strategy to it. I don't like it when the players can metagame and figure out what the creature rolled. Like if it rolled a 13 and it hit their AC, and then it also rolled a 9 and hit their AC, you're kind of getting an idea of what the range is of its attacks. Um, like stuff like that. It's small, it seems minor, but I don't know. I like having the characters unaware of what the rolls are, but yet I also enjoy rolling live on stream so that people know that I'm not fudging the dice. Um, in real life, I tend to actually roll them out in the open because I don't want people to assume that I'm cheating, even though I don't. I like make it a point not to do that. And I think people who played with me for long enough know that I don't. But it's a big thing with me. But either way, we'll see. I'm not sure how I feel about doing it on stream all the time, but for most of the time, I like rolling where people can see. Let's see here. So Rogal must return. Oh gosh, who said that first? It was not Dasha. Victor. Yeah, Victor. Rogal. we I don't know. What should we do? Should we do an Icewind Dale reunion? That might be possible. Might be possible. Icewind Dale hasn't had a reunion since the I think it was last year. Last year in either the fall. I forget when it was the Radiant Citadel adventure. It was a Radiant Citadel adventure that had the Return of Flare. It had it was a dragon adventure. I forget the name of it right now. Oh my gosh. Either way, it was one of the higher level ones, and that was a lot of fun. The ending to that game was wild. If you watch Icewind Dale: Rime of the Frost Maiden, and you did not watch the reunion, which was that Radiant Citadel, you have to go watch it. It was unreal how like fortuitous that game was. Like it was if I told you that was the ending of that game, you wouldn't believe me. So you gotta check that out. Gotta check it out. Dasha says Icewind Dale crew versus the Keep crew game. Yeah, we kind of toyed around with that idea for a minute. I kind of just shelved it because it seems like such an impractical thing, and I don't know. It'd be 10 people. I guess we'd have to have Dasha back as Velen, or do you only keep it as people who survived? Like, would that be is this a story driven thing, or is it a story driven thing, or is it a theater, like just a mental exercise? Is it canon? Does it count? I have to know this, everybody. I have to know this. So this is a great question, actually. Jeff, Print and Play Gamer, interesting idea. To what degree are your campaigns set in the same world? Could there be crossover, say, between Icewind and Keep? So here's my thoughts on this. Icewind Dale, obviously, we ran, and it was like straight up Forgotten Realms. Like that was the first campaign in entirety we streamed. Right, holds a very special place in my heart. But we just ran it as Forgotten Realms, right? Like straight Forgotten Realms. No, nothing really homebrewed to it. Subsequently, though, almost all the other games, I think, well, no, maybe not all the games, were set in Illustria, which is I consider it kind of to be my homebrew world as well, but it's not something I created. It's Mike, who played on the channel. He played in Keeping the Borderlands. Him and Randall, or sorry, not Keeping the Borderlands, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Him and Randall, who played in that with Mike. This is something that he had made, right? Like I played in Illustria in Mike's campaign, and Jeff and CJ and a bunch of others have played in it as well. And that was like Mike's homebrew campaign. So I kind of, actually talking to Mike and working with him, kind of figured out how to place certain things, ideas I had in that setting. We've used the Pantheon. I mean, if all of you love Hyperius, because of Nate's character, that's all thanks to Mike, right? These are all Mike's ideas. Now, I elaborated on some of the things. I changed some of the things for what I had in mind. So I've kind of made the world of Illustria my own. Like, I wouldn't say that Mike's Illustria and mine are 100% the same, but the core belief system, the religion, the pantheon, some of the regions and things like that, that has been something I've adopted. I've also run it in my Patreon game. In the Patreon game, we ran 2 campaigns now. The first one was so what was set in Illustria, but it was kind of like a fight island type idea where characters were coming to the island for a tournament, very Enter the Dragon esque. And then the other one was Red Hand of Doom, which we put into the setting as well. They all take place in the same world, just different continents or different regions of the continent, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of manipulate that and play it. Yeah, so that's been it. So and really shout out to Mike for all his work on that, because he's been constantly updating. I know him and Randall have been working on some things, and I think at some point he wants to, like, maybe in some way publish it. I don't know, but that's why I'm hesitant to, like, say, here's the PDF, everybody. But I'll talk to Mike, and maybe we can say, some of the stuff that he has made. If he wants to share it with the public, he can do that. But yeah, I try to keep everything to just my streams and the games. Um, but so they, I do think that they could cross over. I think that there's a way that the keep. I mean, it's D&D, it's magic. It's fiction. We could find a way that they can cross dimensions, cross multiverse esque, and get into a game. I think it's possible. But how would that work? That's what I need you to let me know. Even if you're not doing the chat right now, if you're watching this later, how could we get two groups, Icewind Dale, Keep on the Borderlands, and have them come together and come to blows at some point? Could this happen? Let's see. Victor Valenti says Icewind Dale is insane. I can't stop watching. Oh, thank you. It's strange. Like that game has been over now for years, and it's still I feel like every so often, every month or so, somebody comments on something from Icewind Dale. Somebody chimes in and says, "Oh, I've been watching this," or "I've been rewatching, getting back into it." It's really, it means a lot. I mean, that was a really great game. Really, really a lot of fun. And it was our first game on the channel, so it does, like I said, it has a special place here on the channel because it was the first one. Let's see. 70 says Flair will commit to spending his turns running away. He's died once. He's not going to die again. Let's see here. Chris from Long Island. Bob, you made a lot of us happy knowing at some point the Keep Crew will start a new big campaign. At some point, yes. At some point, yes. It may not be this summer, but we will have a reunion this summer for sure. It's happening. It's definitely happening. Dasha says, playing Velen was one of my favorite experiences on the channel so far. It was fun to know some of what would happen and also fun being sort of evil. Okay, yeah. I know. It's tough. It's tough to play an evil character if you are not evil. So it's very good. And Velen, you did a great job with Velen, Dasha. Like, you brought that role to life. In fact, one of the reasons why I actually like, you've seen I've done this now, giving these guest NPCs, is because like, I could put a lot of time and effort into making that character unique. I've done it. But with a character that's kind of like important, that's going to be like not just a sidekick, right? Like someone that's going to be like a info giver, somebody who's going to help the plot along. I feel like it's fun to have somebody play that role, like focus on it, give it the time and effort it deserves, and bring their own uniqueness to it. And I like having guest NPCs for that reason. I do it a lot, and I definitely will do more of it in the games to come. Curse of Strahd, for sure, is going to have a few guest NPCs. Let's see here. Print and Play Gamer. Jeff says, you couldn't do the full groups. 10 to 12 people is not practical on a stream. It would have to be a team up with a few members of each group. Well, there's two things I have to say to that. Number one, in comic books, they do this a lot. I've actually thought about this scenario before where it may not be a one-shot. If we did this, if we did some sort of crossover, it might have to be a couple of games. And like in the comic book, where what they would do is they have the main line, which is, if you don't know much about comic books, they oftentimes do this when there's a big crossover event. They'll have the main line, which might be like eight session or a series of 8 or something, right? 8 issues. But then throughout the other comics, they'd have, what's Spider-Man doing during this time? What's Wolverine doing? And, kind of, if you want the full story, you'd have to read all these different comics. So maybe have it where there are some isolated incidents, groups from both sides, people from both sides play in this one shot, then that one shot, then that one shot, and it kind of culminates to a final battle or something like that, right? So, like, yes, it would be impractical for a full game with 10 people, and it would only be 10, like, realistically, right? Because it would be the 5 of you and the 5 of them, and I don't know, maybe we don't have Dasha come back. Sorry, Dasha, you were an NPC, but But whatever. It could be something where it's like a more manageable group, 9 people. I've done 9 on the channel before. But yeah, it's possible. Let's see, some more here. I have to watch Icewind Dale. Yeah, Chris Milan, you got to get on that. I'm surprised you haven't already. I feel like you watched everything on the channel. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if are there any series in the channel you haven't watched yet. And this is for everybody really. Is there something you have been meaning to watch or haven't? Sometimes I assume that people know everything on the channel. I make a comment or a joke, but I realize not everybody's watched everything. It's impossible. I mean, like even if I were to look at my channel from the outside, I wouldn't watch everything. It's impossible to have that. Well, I shouldn't say impossible. There's a lot of people that watch everything. So, no, it's not impossible, but it would be hard if you're coming in new and being like, oh, I got 3 years of content to go back and watch. That would be very hard to do. Let's see. What else we got here? James, the doc game, do you have a favorite setting? Do you have a favorite setting for your next adventure? Well, I think no matter what, it's going to be Illustria, right? Like that's kind of what I've been doing. I enjoy it. So definitely the next adventure is going to be Illustria. If it's Keep on the Borderlands, the reunion will be back in Illustria, obviously. And even if we do a new full one, I'm going to find a way to fit whatever that adventure is into Illustria and kind of, mix in my homebrew with it. So it'll make it our own. O'Hare Bravo says, portals, green open mouth demons. Yeah, it's a way to get people to place for sure. Or dead. Dr. Smith, looks like a great year. Thank you. Nick Gray, crazy mind flayer sucks everyone into the far realm for the tournament. Oh, interesting. To winning team fights the mind flayer to escape. Ooh, that's a good idea. So that could be Secret Wars style. Yeah. That was from O'Hare Bravo, actually. But I assume that was considering Nick's comment. So, yeah, Secret Wars, great comic. I actually have that entire set. Secret War was great. Heroes brought basically the best heroes in the universe, mostly superheroes, brought to fight on this battle planet. Some tournament, crazy tournament. Could that be? Maybe. Shout out to Chris and the Buffalo Bills fan for playing their NPC roles so well in our Patreon. Yeah, we've had a couple of people come on. Some of the players play in the Patreon games. It's been fun. Let's see here. Matt Matt says, hey Bob, what about rotating one player in and another out in a regular game? A podcast, Rotating Heroes. Had a lot of fun with that approach. Logistics might be challenging or it might be a blast. I don't know Rotating Heroes. It's not a YouTube channel, it's just a podcast, just an audio podcast. Interesting. Rotating a player in and out. So if you had cast of 5, you might have 2 or 3 people on standby and they come in, one goes out. It's interesting. I think if that's the goal, right? If that's like the goal, then then you can do it. But I think just if we were going to play like Curse of Strahd, I wouldn't want to do that. So I think you need the continuity. Chris, I watch all the classic D&D streams. Gotcha. Hieronymus Bosch as a mini-me Galactus. Victor Valentes, I started with the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, stopped and started Icewind Dale, started Curse of Strahd Live, but decided I want to play it, so don't want spoilers. Hey, you know what? Honestly, it's not a bad thing, right? Checking out a stream because you might want to play it. It's not bad. Especially the introduction to it, to see if it fits the vibe. It's not bad. Nick Gray, I just started with Strahd, but I have to check some of the others. Oh, welcome. So Nick, you're new. Nick is new. Welcome, Nick. Yeah, if you just started with Strahd, then Well, obviously, I say stick with Strahd. I think it's kind of hard to follow for me personally because I actually I used to watch a lot of live play streams. I don't so much anymore. Actually, I think mostly because I feel like so busy. But in the summertime, I try to find some live play streams, and I used to because I'd be out cutting the grass and I'd listen that way. But it's hard for me. It's hard to watch two long form campaigns at the same time. Like I could watch a long form campaign and then go back and watch like one shots. That's doable. In between, in between. So if I were you, Nick, I would say check out the Candlekeep Mysteries. Those were some of my favorite games on the channel. They're one shots. They're easy to watch. I think they're all around 3 to 4 hours. I tried to keep them into 3 or 4 hours. The longer, later adventures, the ones that are higher level, they ended up going a little longer. Some of them I think are like 5 hours, but they're one shots, and you can absolutely just pick them up, go. You also will see all the cast, right? Like all my players kind of had a part in that. Like almost everybody on the channel that plays consistently played on that as well. Keep on the Borderlands is a good one. Yeah, absolutely. If you're not watching like another long form one, definitely keep on the Borderlands. It's like I don't want to say it's like the game on the channel. I mean, it was very very good, but it's like that was like it turned a corner for the channel. We became more of like a more diverse group of people of viewers from getting like the old school viewers, like people who like the original adventures, as well as some people who just like D&D in general. And that would kind of like turn the corner. I feel like got a broader audience from that game. Chris from Long Island, Bob, being honest, I have tried other D&D streams and they don't come as close to your channel streams. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I will say there are obviously some other games channels out there, and I feel like I've seen a lot of them. There are really good ones. I'm not, and I don't want to downplay my channel, but for what my channel is, it's basically one guy in his basement. That's what it is. My players are fantastic. I think that's what makes my channel so good. Everybody plays on the channel. I know, I know really well. I played with them. I know them in real life. They are friends of mine. I consider each of them a friend, and I think that's what makes our games so compelling. Because we have a great rapport with each other. We work together. It's a collaborative process, and I think that's what makes our streams so good. We're not a Critical Role. Right? We're not in a studio. We don't have a payroll of people. It's literally just I run it all, right? Like I kind of just do it. And if I don't do it, it doesn't happen. So it's great, right? So I love it when like other people like CJ stepped up and he ran some games for us because it gives me a chance to play and get some other people involved. Maybe I would have CJ run something again this year. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think for what we do, I think personally we do it really really well. And there are a lot of other games out there though. plenty of people who stream really really well. Let's see. We're missing the state of the channel is. Oh, we're missing like classic statement like that. The state of the channel is good. Okay, I'm just gonna say it that it's good. It's exciting. I'm excited for 2024. I really am. Let's see. Print and Play Gamer. What I like about Bob's channel is that everyone on the channel is just there to have fun. No one's promoting themselves as actors, influencers, etc. Yeah, we're kind of just like real people, but we're committed. Like we're not just like the typical gaming group where like maybe meet at somebody's house and we are trying to put on what I think is a entertainment, right? The goal every time we do a session zero or we have our pre meetings for these games, we talk about like the expectations. We talk about what the goal is, right? We're trying to provide some sort of entertainment. We've all gotten better at it as well. Like, we're streaming for an audience. There's a difference in playing in real life where you're just kind of playing for your own fun of the game, right? We're trying to provide some content and things that people will want to watch and want to come back for, right? So that's really where I think the difference is, and we're not just playing it with the mindset of we're playing a game. We're doing it because we are committed to making this an entertainment. But we are also kind of, I think, down to earth people. We're not actors or influencers. We're not trying to, I don't know what the word is, gain clout or fame or anything like that. We're just trying to have fun and promote it, and I hope that other people enjoy it as well. Um, let's see what else we got here. Did I miss the Esper part? Oh no. Well, actually, it was going to be my last thing. Um, so obviously, the first half of 2024 is looking good. I'm going to be doing some things that are not on the channel. Obviously, Dave Mills. What do you mean by like real people? Well, we're real people. We're real people. Sometimes the word like gets used as an emphasis word, but yeah, no, we're real people. Um, but some of the things I'm going to be doing outside the channel, I'm definitely planning on joining at least one or two of the DM roundtables. Wally DM, Fred Wheeler, AJ Pickett, all those, that crew. I'm always trying to find a time slot, a thing that I can get into and join. I was gonna do a Christmassy themed one with them, but I was sick and it was just not, it wasn't working. Um, and then of course, Esper the Bard. I told you I backed his Kickstarter, the Monstrous Heroes. This week coming up on Sunday, we're going to be revisiting Monstrous Heroes. We're going to be playing in a short game. We're going to be doing some more Monstrous Heroes. We're picking up from where we left off when we did that Monstrous Heroes stream earlier in the year. We're going to be using updated PDF and things like that, but that's on Sunday. I'll post more about it when I have the link and things like that from Esper's channel, but going to be joining that crew again. And yeah, 2024 should see a couple other collaborations, I think. I think it would be nice to get some other friends and YouTubers to do some stuff together. Let's see. I think that's about it. AI is getting advanced. The point is we're amateurs playing. Hold on a second. I gotta go back and read these. The point is we're amateurs playing because we enjoy playing, rather than professionals trying to build careers as TTRPG stream personalities. Yeah, Jeff, that's it. That's it basically. Right, we're here, we're enjoying it, we're showing it to the world, but we're just regular people. And then AI is getting advanced. What did I miss here? Oh, because I'm like real people. Yeah, AI. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, if you've been in the Discord, you know that the Bob bot is not nice. Okay, Bob bot is not nice. Don't even think about putting something in capital letters. If you want to join Discord, down below, check it out. And that's Stefano. Dasha's not real. She's a robot. You're right. You're right. As we all found out in the End of the World RPG. Good. Yeah, that's about it, everybody. I mean, this is actually it ended up being a longer chat than I think. We were going on an hour and a half here. More than that. But look, 2024. It's going to be awesome. If you haven't subscribed already, do it. Hit the bell icon so you get notified. You know, the bell icon's key because I think for me, when I subscribe to channels, YouTube decides when it wants to show me my subscribed stuff. Sometimes it doesn't. There was a channel not too long ago. What was it? I forget now. Oh, gosh. There was a channel that I had not seen in some time, and I forget what it was about now. It was a gaming thing. Something 40K related, I think. It's escaped me. Either way, I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I looked, and I wasn't subscribed. I was subscribed, but I didn't hit the bell for notifications, so I wasn't seeing the content anymore. Auspex Tactics, that's what it is. That's a big channel. If you don't know Auspex Tactics, check it out. If you play Warhammer, it's like the go-to for competitive. I feel like it's like awesome. I hadn't seen it come up in a long time. It's been like a month and a half or 2 months since I've seen it, and I had to purposely go and search for it, turn on the notifications. So do that. That way you get updated every time we go live. You might miss it. You found my channel by accident, Chris from Long Island. Awesome. That's great. I mean, yeah, look, however you got here, you got here. That's what matters. You're home now. James, thank you for, again, the memberships. Definitely only 20 likes. That's good. 20, yeah. Listen, like it, everybody. There we go. I'm not sure what the chat like buttons are. I don't know what they do. I just clicked one. The heart, that works. Yeah, I don't know what that does. Nick Ray, what's your 40K army? Well, if you're in 40K, Nick, if you play 40K, check out the Warhammer Wrath and Glory stream. That is where you got to go. You got to check that game out if you play 40K. I talk about my 40K history there. I've been playing for nearly 20 years at this point. 2025 will be the 20-year mark? No. Yeah. 2025 will be the 20-year mark I played 40K. So I play a lot of armies. Started with Necrons, play Ultramarines, but honestly, both those armies I haven't played in many editions at this point. I kind of just been playing Chaos, which feels terrible to say. Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Demons, Death Guard, Thousand Suns. It's horrible. Horrible. You don't make enough money, you're a teacher. Listen, I'm a teacher. I get it. Got to prioritize things. Oh, Stefano, Dasha, appreciate the kind words here. Thank you for a great year. It's been awesome. We'll try to get as many of you back on the channel as we can. I know, Stefano, I'll see you next week. Curse Strahd. All right, so everybody, we're gonna pause here and or end the stream here. Oh, last thing. For the summer, if I don't know when this is gonna happen, but I did get this for Christmas too. The Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. It's really cool. At some point, I'd like to run this on the channel. I don't know when I'm gonna have time for this, but it's awesome. And I just got through like reading the rules, preliminary, cursory read of it all. It seems awesome. At some point, I don't know. Time. I wish I had more time. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for a great 2023. It really was a great year for the channel. Lots of fun memories and great streams, great games, great moments, and the stream is doing, or the channel is doing really, really well. Last few reminders here. If you want, check down below in the links in the description. You got Patreon, Ko-fi, the merch shop, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff we talked about earlier, ways to support the channel, things like that. The memberships are live now on YouTube, so you can hit the join button. Thank you to those who gifted the memberships. Really, the outpouring of support is it's great to see. So thank you and Happy New Year. And we'll see you on the tabletop. Have a great night, everybody.